When the only constant in life is change, you need to be ready. This is the Man-Made Survival Show.
Hi, my name is Jose Pro, Man-Made Survival, and I want to welcome you back to the channel. And thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for leaving your comments. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for helping us grow, because I really believe in this information. I really do believe in the prepper movement, and this is why I want to come out and give this information so more people can be ready. Because if a lot of people can be ready for the bad things that could happen, that are happening, or that could happen, then there could be a lot less casualties, a lot less suffering, and everybody would be in a better shape if everybody was just a prepper. But let's get into this. What we're going to talk about today is more of a question for you, okay, on this headline, because it says something, but the way you can read it, it can potentially be devastating for a country. Especially a republic like the United States, okay, a constitutional republic. We are not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. But, you know, we do have laws in place that if something happens in an emergency, then the Constitution is pretty much thrown into the trash can. And dictatorial powers take over until the emergency is over. But, you know, it's all up to the government to declare when the crisis is over. And I'm bringing this because the way that I'm reading it, or the way that you could spin this, is because of things that are happening in China right now, even though this has nothing to do with China. All right, let's get into it. But first, I'm going to give you the numbers for the coronavirus as of today, which is Wednesday, the 12th of February, 2020. The number of infected is 45,211, and the number of dead is 1,118. And those numbers keep climbing and climbing. And there's going to be something in this report that is going to probably make your jaw drop if you haven't heard about it yet. So here we go. I'm going to start with this. The U.S. asks hacktivists, social media manipulators to top intel threat. This from yahoo.com. The U.S. counter-spy agency said Monday that cyber and surveillance technology advances have multiplied the intelligence threat to the country, putting hacktivists and online manipulators on par with venerable foe Russia. The United States, here's a quote, "The United States is facing increasingly aggressive and complex threats from foreign intelligence services, as well as state and non-state actors," said William Avanina, director of the National Counterintelligence and Security Center, which issued the report. Previous editions of the report singled out Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, along with transnational crime groups, as a central spying threat to the United States. In addition, its list this is how you can read into it, okay? In addition, it lists ideologically motivated entities such as hacktivists, linktivists, and public disclosure organizations. That's the part that kind of, you know, worries me a little bit because of what's happening in China. We know that people in China who are leaking videos, you know, that are sharing in social media, they are pretty much disappearing at this point. Okay? And we know that we have the Model State Emergency Health Powers Act, which pretty much gives the governors and, you know, people in government dictatorial power, and if they declare that you cannot leak what's going on or post on social media or send in a private message, whatever the case may be, then you become a criminal. Now, of course, talking about people who steal, you know, kind of like the Equifax thing that came out the other day, or people that steal identities, bank account numbers. I mean, I understand that and I get it. You know, it's a big deal. But now the ideologically motivated people. So let's just give an example like WikiLeaks. Okay, I mean, I don't know how you feel about WikiLeaks, but some people think that what WikiLeaks did was right. You know, leaking Hillary Clinton's emails, and you know, a lot of people say that that's what convinced some American people to make up their mind and not vote for her. Some people say that they did the worst thing, that they are traitors and they need to be executed. You know, I mean, we know Assange has been taken and possibly is about to die because his health looks very, very deteriorated. But the point is that just the idea of wanting whatever it is at that point, okay, let's just put people in China. What do they want? You know, if they want that stuff to get out, they might want freedom. You know, they probably know that things are so bad that it's not been reported. They want other people to know how bad it is. You got to think, maybe they have people that live outside of their area that want to know how bad it is so they can be prepared and protected. I mean, there's a reason why people freak out when they go get picked up to be put in quarantines. Because they know how, probably they had a neighbor that went, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a nephew, a son, a daughter that left and hasn't come back and is probably dead. That's why you wouldn't want to go, especially if you know you're not sick, because you have taken all the precautions possible. So anyways, now that I've said this, I want to go into the next headline because this is the part that's going to make your jaw drop. Coronavirus can infect 60% of the global population if it cannot be controlled. Top Hong Kong medical officials warn. This from dailymail.co.uk or .co.uk. All right, just fathom that. 60% of the population of the entire globe right now. That comes out to be somewhere between 4.2 billion people. Can you imagine 4.2 billion people being infected? That doesn't mean that that's how many people are going to die. Okay? That just means that that's how bad it's going to get. And let's say it gets really bad because 4.2 billion people, I mean, it's eventually going to come to the United States. China has 1.5 billion people. Africa continent has 1.2 billion people. I mean, you can add them up and you can come up with 4.2 really fast, especially where it is, you know. And it could very well be coming to the United States, and it's possibly already here. So let's say that the government, you know, clamps down and they don't want anybody to know some information, such as this. Did you know that 50% of the tests that they are using to see if the people are sick or not with the coronavirus are 50% wrong? That could mean two things. That they test you and it says you're contaminated and you're really not, and you could possibly be put into quarantine even though you're not sick, and now that you're around so many sick people, now you'll get it. Or it says that you're not sick, they release you back into the public when you in fact are sick, and then you infect everybody. So that's something to think about. Then it could be something that they don't want, you know, people to know about. Or how about this? Russia has said that they have 20,000 people under observation. 20,000. We haven't heard any numbers from from Russia. All we have known is that they closed the border and they were deporting people that were sick. That's all they've said. But now they're saying they have 20,000 people that are potentially sick. You know, that they are watching, they're on the quarantine. And however many of those, let's say 10% of that is sick, which would be 2,000 people, those are sick. How many people did they infect? Okay, let's say 1%. Either way, however you want to slice the pie, somebody's still getting the crumbs. Now, that makes me bring this to the United States, and this is just making me kind of like pull my hair out. Here's the headline. Health officials. About 200 people in Georgia are self-monitoring for coronavirus symptoms. This is from 11alive.com. The Georgia Department of Public Health said Tuesday that about 200 people who have recently returned to the United States from China are self-monitoring for symptoms for the Wuhan coronavirus, which, you know, they named in 2019 nCoV. According to the DPH, the Department of Public Health, there are travelers who arrived in the United States from mainland China outside of Hubei province, where the greatest concentration of those suffering from the virus are located and where the virus is believed to have originated. The Department of Public Health also says these individuals have no known high-risk exposure. They have not exhibited any symptoms thus far and self-isolating at home. Self-isolating at home. The Department of Public Health says that they received a list daily from Customs and Border Protection with the names of Georgia travelers coming to the United States from China. Epidemiologists from the Department of Public Health are contacting those individuals by phone to establish a plan for self-monitoring and to provide instructions on how to contact the Department of Public Health before they seek health care if they do develop fever, cough, and any shortness of breath. Give me a break. That is insane. I'm going to give you a crazy theory. Let's say that China put a couple people in there that were freshly infected with the virus. They sent them to the United States, and since they're not being monitored properly, they're not being quarantined, now it spreads in the United States. Maybe that's the reason why there's 11 quarantine centers that the Pentagon is getting ready to open if they're not already, which is one in Hawaii, Illinois, Texas, 2 in California, Georgia, and Atlanta. Right there, what we're talking about in Atlanta. New York, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and Michigan. So you don't get ready for something that might potentially happen. You get ready for something you know it's going to happen, especially in the Pentagon is involved. Because now it's a military operation more than likely, or, at least it sounds like it. But my point is, how can you let 200 people just walk around? Because these people are self-isolating. They're not in mandatory quarantine. They could be going to your grocery stores. They could be going to work. They can be going to school. They are riding the bus. Whatever the case may be. They're coughing everywhere. They're already coughing. I mean, we know that the coronavirus has 14 days, right? Now, they're saying that more than likely, or they have found some patients that have the coronavirus for 24 days before showing any symptoms. 24 days, and it could live in a smooth surface for 9 days without a host. So things can get spread like wildfire very quickly. I don't know if this is deliberate, what it is, but China could very easily put somebody in there that was infected. Or not just one, couple people. I mean, it's 200 people. And they're getting a list daily from people that are coming from China. I mean, I thought the flights were canceled. I mean, either way, Canada hasn't, at least to my knowledge, they have not banned any travel from China. So they can go from China to Canada and Canada to the United States. So there's a lot to think about. This is why you must be prepared for whatever happens. Because if this is man-made, as they're saying, that it's a biological weapon, then you must be ready. Because there's evil people in the world. It could have been leaked. It could have been a big catastrophic accident. Either way, they were messing with bioweapons, and now it leaked out, and now it's all over the world. That's why you must be ready for things. At the very least, you got to have your food and your water ready, and then you can plan after that. But have your food and water ready. You must know where your family members are, and you got to learn some quarantine steps. But anyways, thank you all very much for watching this video. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for helping us grow. I greatly appreciate it, because I want this information to get out, and I want people to get ready for things that could happen in the future. All right, guys. Thank you. And as always ready.
The Man-Made Survival Show.